Let's find out. Since this is going to go live. Oh, I know why it doesn't have a picture sometimes when I do this way. It does not want to share the camera with the Zoom. Ah, okay. Understand. Okay. Makes a lot of sense now to me. Now I figured out. And that does not like sharing with anything else that it has to share with because of its, I guess it's, what is it? Let's find out how this works here. All right, let's go to YouTube here. Let's go to Facebook. Facebook, 1, 2, 3. All right. Well, for some reason, well, I don't know about the camera, but it is live, so I want to say thank you for being here. Remember, it's live, and on top of that, just because you don't have a picture doesn't mean it's not live. If you think I'm here to entertain you, you're wrong. So first of all, I'm here to go ahead and just pass on information to you. Oh, there it is. There it is. All right, here I'm passing information on to you so you can go ahead and have a great life. Now, one thing I want to let you know about this as well is, oh, let's see. I got the, let's see, what am I sharing here? Where's my screen? What am I sharing? What am I sharing? What am I sharing? Okay. Preparing live stream, whatever that means. All right, maybe we don't have that. All right, well, I'm going to go ahead and just put it to a big picture here. So there we go. It is now a big picture. So if you can see it, just go ahead and let me know if you can go ahead and see it. All righty, Friday. All right, I'm going to go down here. All right, cool bananas. What I just want to let you know again tonight is about building business credit. But tonight's going to be a little interesting conversation. Why is it going to be interesting? Because of the fact is, why we have it interesting is because of the fact is, guess what? What we want to see and make sure is that you have other areas in life that you want to work in. But one thing I want to tell about business, what I'm going to show you about business credit tonight, a lot of you out there that's been in the training, some of you actually have followed the program the way it was designed, and you've got some of the success. But on the other areas, some of you also have areas that you aren't willing to follow, and so you don't have the success because you want to. Here's the thing. I can tell you that some programs do work and some don't. I'm going to be real honest about that. Some home-based businesses do not work because they really they make their money from selling their product, not actually telling you and guiding you and giving you. Here's the thing. We're not going to do it for you because we're not on the other side with you. Some of you can't get onto Zoom at a time to do it during the day because you can't. You're working during the day, which we understand. But if you're ever on a day off, you should call the office and say, look, I'm going to be off tomorrow. Can we go ahead and do this? And we can schedule something. But nobody ever thinks. See, you got to think like a business person, not like a Hebrew slave. Nothing wrong with Hebrews itself, but you're not Hebrew slaves anymore. You're not the tail. You're the head. And what I want to say about that, you should really understand for yourself is that your job. You think about you think building business credit is supposed to be just building business credit. No, it's not. Business credit is just a form of getting credit. But what are you going to do to manage things all over? There's a lot of things that people do not do that makes a huge difference if they're willing to follow just the directions itself. So with that said, I just want to let you know that one thing for you is that the most powerful thing that you could end up doing is actually following the directions inside of what you're given. And if not, you can't expect the results if you're going to not follow directions. If it says go to A, you go to A. You go to B, you go to B. If it says go to Z, you go to Z. Because the thing is, they're going to take you down the path that you can have your success that you're looking for. But also at the same time, when you're any other business out there, take a look at it. What do they do to educate you to let you know what else you can do? Some people say, well, I need to get more money. Okay, nothing wrong with that. You might have all the business stuff you need. You might have everything you need, but they say, I have too much of this. Have any of you remember the divisions I talked about? Anyone remember about the divisions I talked about? No one's, I tell you, some people don't even remember the divisions that I have spoken about and don't even know how to implement them to go ahead and have what they're looking for. Now, what you're looking for is how to go ahead and structure your business so you can use, guess what? Your divisions. And don't even know how to implement them to go ahead. So what I want to let you know is for yourself that tonight's going to be a very interesting class. This is the stuff I say for people that have been doing this for a while. And some people that are doing it for a while, they use life against a system that would work for them. So let's go ahead and get on the road to the journey. First of all, I want to say this. Think about this for a moment. Think about this for a moment. What if I gave you a check for $1 million? What bank account would you deposit it into? Your personal or corporate account? Well, most people will go ahead and probably say, well, I put it in my own business account. I mean, my personal account. Some people say I put it in my corporate account, which would be correct. Because you keep all the money to pay the bills first. If there's any money left over, then you pay taxes on what's left over. And a lot of people do not understand that. What do you mean left over? I gotta go ahead and pay bills. Well, yeah, you do. But it comes off the top. See, if you had $1 million, you can take the expenses off the top. But if you're like an average Joe on the street, that's the tail, which we understand that has to. I was the tail too. I get it, and I'm telling you, it's horrible. It's horrible. But guess what? Yeah, I'm willing to do what I'm willing to do back then, and still am. Is that when I first got started? I'm going to tell you guys, it took me almost 3 years to file my first corporation. I was so scared because there was no direction. Nobody gave any direction. It was like a big old secret. Now it's like all out there. In fact, we have several different people that are involved in the broker program for the lending. We had our training last night, and we had a couple of people really say, wow, you know, I never really saw it that way. Because here's the thing. See, this is why the investments you made in building your business credit is so valuable, that you have so many tools. And what I'm telling you, go to your CPA. I'm not here to be your attorney, your tax accountant. I'm not here to be your financial advisor, but I am telling you what our CPA does for us. Our CPA will tell us, put that money in the business account. Because the minute it goes to you, it's all over. Because in the corporate business, even, put it this way, we have some cards here that are at 29%. A lot of you, oh my God, oh, that's so much. Well, because guess why? You don't understand about the accounting process. You take it from the top from your business expense. That interest is a write-off. Not as an individual, it's not a write-off. Not as an individual, but for the business itself, under a tax ID doing business, it's a write-off, which means you pull it off the top. So I don't care if it's 29%. Let it be 29% all day long. If you really don't understand that, you should just close your business, get out of business. It's not for you. Because you really got to understand that. What do you think do you think a lot of big companies are concerned about interest rates in some way? Of course not. As an individual, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. You kidding? That you can't even write it off. You got to even look at it. In a business, I don't care. 29% on $1,000 is what? That interest rate comes off the top of what you make in the business. Oh, but I might not make that kind of money this year. Oh, poor baby. Guess what? If you have the right CPA, they'll forward the debt. Think about it. Ask them about it, how they do that. And then just forward into next year and the year after maybe. They know how. You get a real good one. They know how to do it correctly. Again, I said in several of my, last year and this year, I said, look, I have a great lady CPA, and I said I would introduce you. She's sharp. She knows what she's doing, and I promise you, she will introduce you to this. And also, the who knows about the code, the IRS 179. She will break that down to you. What if I tell you you're able to get a car over $25,000 and be able to write the whole thing off? Now, I'm not going to tell you how she did it. I know how she did it. If you really want to know, ask your own accountant or call me to ask her. Now, of course, she's going to charge you because she wants you as a client. I'm just telling you straight out. You guys really got to start beginning to learn in that. It's not about just building business credit. Oh, yeah. No, it's not. I'm going to show you even more as we go on. Here's the next thing to give you an idea of what happens if you put it in your own account. All right. Before that, remember, the United States Constitution allows you, as a person that forms a business, under a tax ID. Now, you got to be very careful again about the LLC, the limited liability company. It's not a limited liability corporation. It's a limited liability company. Eventually, you will get hammered if you don't change it eventually. What I mean by eventually, if you're not making over $500,000 a year, you're going to be okay. You start getting $500,000 to $1 million, things begin to shift and change. This is why you want to learn the strategy, how to go ahead and develop your C corporation, and how to go ahead, even if you have the LLC now, what to do with the LLC and how to use it and how to move it. Now, there's also another thing is that you can actually take, let's say you have an LLC, you're going to create a corporation. Now the corporation, now when it starts, it's going to have to build its credit. Really? What if I tell you there was a way to take everything from the LLC and move it all the way to the C corporation, and then the C corporation will have all the credit in the history, and the LLC will be like a new child again? Just a thought. Just a thought. And then after the LLC gets a new child status, then you can go ahead and teach and train it. Guess by how? You can go ahead and teach and train it. You can go ahead and teach and train it. Guess how? You will be able to go ahead and move your business credit to the LLC by daisy chaining. And a lot of people do not understand what the daisy chaining is. Oh, I know what it is. Really? If you did, you'd be doing it. I'm going to tell you, when you say you know something, you will be doing it. I don't care how busy in the world you are, because when I had to go ahead and walk to my job at 4 in the morning to get there by 6 o'clock, and then I had to walk back at night while I started the business, I had to do everything back because I got up at 4:30, I got home about 6:45, and at 7 o'clock, I had 7 to 8:45 to do what I had to do. You don't think it was challenging for me? But I was more hungry. And you best remember this and write this down. The wolf that's on the hill is not as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. You want to be climbing that hill all the time because of the fact that's why you get lazy and you start blaming other people for your lack of success. When you have a support team around you that's doing something, you best not talk weird or nasty or negative when they're trying to support you. Because here's the thing, you'll eventually create something in your own life to make stuff happen so you could be right and miserable instead of wrong and happy. I'd rather be wrong and have money than right with no money to say, see, because that is the childlike actions that people do in life because they don't really want to take accountability that the fact that maybe they're sitting back a little bit not doing something. That's all. And it's not a bad thing. But you're just not going to, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always be where you've always been. Remember, the United States Constitution and the business allows you to go and have pension plans, dental plans, life insurance, company car, business trips, and there's so much more. There's so much more I can get into. You must learn how the SS form is the opportunity to your dreams. The SS form is the opportunity to your dreams of the Bill of Rights that was designed by the United States Constitution, which was the 14th Amendment for corporations, because they became a legal person in the 1800s. Go look it up. Now, what I want to tell you is this. One of the things you want to begin to remember for yourself is this. You only become broke when you become broke in your mind. You only become poor when you become poor in your mind. Well, you say, well, I don't even have 2 nickels to rub together, let alone 2 wooden nickels. Is that being broke? Is that being poor? Or is that being temporarily broke? I've been there. I've had that t-shirt. And that's why when I hear people talk, they're only talking because, well, just in case it happens. There's no just in case. Just in case I own that name. That's my name, Just In Case. It's a company called Just In Case Inc. If you think I'm kidding, I'll show it to you next week. Just In Case Inc. Now, think about it for a minute. What I want to let you know is this. Some of you out there in YouTube land and Facebook land, You have a pure opportunity to really have your dreams come true, because a lot of you, which I know that you've called this week, I had 12 calls from people that says, look, I've been to this guy in New York. Yes, I got the credit, but I had to personally guarantee it. Some got $350,000, but they had to personally guarantee it. How do I get out of that? First of all, why would you personal guarantee $350,000? Because that's nothing. I told you, I tell our students, if you have to guarantee something, personal guarantee a business line of credit, if it's not for 5 million or more, don't do it. Because at least when you're doing 5 million, you're going to have some of that money left over if things didn't work out. But $350,000, you're not going to have a whole lot left over. You might be lucky to have 5 cents. See, this is what I tell you, what people hook, line, and sinker you in a way, is that you've got to go ahead and really work it and understand what's going on. Here's the thing. Some of you are set up real nicely, and when you clean things up, it's just going to pop. It's just going to pop. See, it's called patience. When you need money, that's why you get impatient. I understand that. It's crazy. But when the world knows you don't need it, you get it. Some of you are working really hard, and I acknowledge that because I did the same thing. I got to get up in the morning, and this was day labor. Fortunately enough, as I got picked more and more, I find the guy says, show up tomorrow, I'll pick you. You show up all this week, I'll pick you. So eventually I show up. But they tell me, don't be 1 minute late because I won't pick you again. So I made sure I got there in time every day. Had my brown bag. I'm talking literally a brown bag with peanut butter, 2 peanut butter sandwiches, no jelly. And back then they had well, you can buy the big bag of chips you have now in the small, had like different assortments. And then they were bigger than they are now. And I get one of those. And then I would go to back then they had a different type of store where you can go buy the apples that were moved from the big stores to the secondary store. And you get those for you get 10, 15 for $1. So I have an apple. And then of course there was water there, and we got water. So I understand you guys, so don't think I don't understand. I've been there. Like I said, I lived in the garage, so you don't dare tell me I don't understand. I do too. This is the reason why I've been around. You're going to see how long I've been around here, by the way. So let's go to the next thing. Here's what happens if you have money. There's a guy, remember, winning the Survivor, the Survivor show? Well, he had $1 million, and guess what happened? He would only yield $450,000 or about $375,000 after taxes. See, you only get to keep $375,000 of $1 million. If you had it in a corporation that had write-offs, you might pay taxes on $625,000 because you have more money left over. He only gets to keep $375,000 after taxes. All I want to let you know is that you've got to really understand your tax strategies. And this is why I say, call your expert. Call your CPA. Some of you are going to be crazy enough to say this. Well, I don't have a kind of money yet, so I'm not going to call anybody. It's like this. If you don't prepare for the game to win, you're not going to get to the game. It's that straight. You're going to end up losing. And it won't be losing because of somebody else. It's because of the way your thought process. It all starts up here. Nobody really wants to hear that because it's been said for years. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Any Christian man out there, if you really understand the word, that's what he was telling us all the time. That's what Jesus Christ was saying. Don't look back to your past. Don't even talk about it, really. Leave it alone. Learn from it, which means you bring the good stuff forward and you keep working forward with the good stuff. Some of you keep talking, well, this happened to me over here before. No, sometimes it's okay to talk about certain things so you can vent and have it disappear. Then you drop it and leave it alone. But if you keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up and keep bringing it up, you're going to make sure no matter what happens, you're going to be right. I have some people that, in fact, I see them in Facebook, and I see 3 also in the YouTube. They were here last night at the training. Everyone, when they were told the first time that they have the money to do whatever they need to do. It took them 30 minutes to really get, wow, bring this, we have the money. Bring this, we have the money. Bring this, we have the money. And it just has to meet within the FHA guidelines for each state that you're in or not in. Whatever state you're doing in, it has to match that. But for them to realize they're the money, they have the money to go ahead and give money to the rehabbers and the flippers, or they find a great deal, they got the formula. This is how you use the formula. This is how you know it's going to be a good deal or not. They were like, wow. And it just went on from there. And it's like now they began to really see. Today I had a couple of calls regarding that. Some had already some people they talked to, they wanted to know. So I talked to the people for them. And now they're filling out the paperwork to go ahead and do what they need to do. I was just telling you folks, you got to understand something. This is for them. They're going to make some money so they can go ahead and develop a corporation even more. Now, another thing is this. There's a lot of people don't realize about Microsoft. Do you guys realize that Microsoft saved Apple from bankruptcy? It is well known that Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak founded Apple in Silicon Valley. But Apple was on the brink of bankruptcy in 1997. Go look it up. Go look it up and see what happened from there. But remember, this is when they kicked him out. And I talked about this. You read this book, you read a story about it, you'll find out. Wow. See, they're no different than you. They were on the brink of bankruptcy. And people were willing to save them. So you want to begin to understand is what's happening for you. There's always something out there that will make a difference, but you've got to be able to see it and then let it happen in the good way for you, knowing that things will come out okay if you're willing to have it come out okay. So just go look that up and you'll see it's a pretty interesting story. Now, another thing is this. A lot of you don't get sucked up into B&B, which is the Better Business Bureau. The Better Business Bureau. The Better Business Bureau was indicted in 2013 in Los Angeles court office because they are a fraud organization and people do not understand that. They think, oh God, I got to pay the B&B because of the fact I'm going to get a good. No, go look it up. Go do your homework, folks. I keep telling you, do your homework. Do your homework. One thing about our students, I'll keep banging them and banging them and banging them. Go do your homework. Go look this up. Go do this. And if they don't, it's on them. I even told someone today, look, you have all the money you need to get any properties as long as they fit into the FHA for a single family or the 1 to 4 units. I don't believe you. All right, fine, don't. It's okay. And I'm telling you all this right here for my people here. They know what I told them last night. And the 2 of them got on it. And like I said, they got 2 people that I talked to on the phone today. So all I'm going to let you know, folks, you got to understand, do this digging, you'll find this out. How do you think I found this? I've had this for years, but I teach this in the private class. But I'm going to go ahead and teach it in this class. Why? Because a lot of you probably don't understand what it is to do your research that way. I do the research a lot. When you actually join into the advanced class, I like the advanced class. Let me tell you why. Because the advanced class will kick out. They have, in other words, it's all open. And anyone starts getting weird or negative, they boot them out. Because that's where the mastermind program comes in. They do not allow one bad thing to be said. Someone says, well, I don't know this is going to happen. So you know what? You don't belong here right now. You're not the right fit. And they'll kick them out. People don't want to be around people that actually are doomsayers. Why? It sucks the energy out of everything. All I'm going to tell you, how do I find B&B? B&B was indicted in 2013 in Los Angeles court office because they were found as a fraud organization. Go look it up. So why would you pay B&B, the Better Business Bureau, when they were indicted in 2013? So what I want to let you know, do your homework when we give you the homework to go ahead and do. Go look this up yourself. Remember, fact checkers, go look this up. Go look it up and see where they were indicted. Indictment, okay? Why would Los Angeles court office indict them? And because they said they were a fraud organization. Why? If you dig, if you really dig, which I'm going to tell you, but you're going to need to dig, you will find out who actually created and started that organization. And will you be surprised? Maybe, maybe not. But it wasn't a organization that had a license, or an organization, or the person that was of, let's say, I'll mention Las Vegas, so they should tell you what kind of person started the B&B. That's all I'm going to say. Las Vegas is awesome, though, by the way. Now, the next thing is this. Oops. Now, I've been teaching classes for over 40 years. You go from 1985 to current time. And I am online 6 days a week, but short spurts. And I'm on 2 days this long. But a lot of stuff is decades ago, all the information that does still work. And on top of that, I've been around. I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to tell you this again. For whoever decides to stick, you'll make it. But those who quit, you won't make it, because I can't hold your hand so you can make it. And if you think I'm talking to you, I am. I'm going nowhere. Where are you going? Are you willing to be successful? Are you willing to go ahead and say, you know what? Yeah, I am. Cool beans. Then we can move mountains. But also, if you don't think I'm not talking to you, that's okay too. Then I'm not talking to you. All right? But also remember this. I've been around forever. And on top of that, I've been through all the markets, ups and downs. And here's another thing a lot of people that has not changed in the system is a few other things as well. When I want to ask you, does your business have the resources to survive? And somebody said, oh, well, you probably know it. If you're beginning to build your business credit, you already know that. In fact, we have a couple of people that just joined the Facebook and also the YouTube. 2 more people from the class last night. So that's awesome. All right. So now what I want to say is, does your business have the resources to survive? I want to say welcome you guys I'm going to probably bring you on, not tonight, but probably either Sunday. I'll talk to you about that. So you can go ahead and let the corporate credit people know what's been going on, and also where the corporation and is using its divisions that's allowing you to create an income for yourself so you can go ahead and start your business at the same time. This is one area that you're being trained in, and you can tell them how much you were being charged. Nothing in that particular class, because you are the ones that are serious about that area in that particular arena. Now, one thing I want to say about this is that you're doing awesome at what you're doing, but now what you're doing is that you have a lot of stuff. Today you got all your paperwork. But I want to ask you this. Does your business have the resources to survive? Now, some of you might say, well, no. Yes, you do. Those of you that have any business cards, whether it be a Staples or Office Depot or a Walmart or a Costco or a gas card or, excuse me, or credit cards, MasterCard, Visa, Discover, American Express, what else you got? USB, Connex, what's the other ones? Diners Club. And you know what, tell you guys, if you haven't got Diners Club, I would apply. See, a lot of people boo-hoo Diners Club. Man, Diners Club is the bomb. So anyways, the Diners Club. Now, does your business have the resources to survive? If you have any of those cards, even a gas card. The reason why I say that, because here, I'm going to tell you, why do I talk about divisions? Why divisions? They allow you to set up and run a different business type as well as a different location. Allow you to separate liability if something goes wrong. It allows you to have the time to disconnect, isolate, and incorporate. What does all that mean? Join Join the course and understand the business. Here's a sample. If a corporation has multiple properties, if one of your tenants slips and falls, and in most cases, it can protect all other properties. Allows you to build corporate cash and supply credit. But what does that mean? I have cards, but I can't get credit. Well, why? Well, maybe if you learn what divisions were, you wouldn't have to worry about that, because if you had divisions, let's say you have your business and your business has a good, decent score, 80 plus. Your Dun & Brad has a good score plus. But when you're going for cash, they don't care about Dun & Brad. They only care about your business experience, because your business experience is your money. That's where they decide to give you lines of credit. But if you also have the division set up properly by now, you could actually have the division go out, and since the corporation has good credit, they won't give it any credit if its credit debt ratio is out of whack, but they'll allow it to co-sign for the division as long as you have the division set up correctly and it has the same, you at least have the correct scores. It'll let it go ahead and co-sign for it, but they won't give it credit the other way, but they'll allow it to get credit through a division. But no one wants to listen. I told people, set up your division, set up your divisions, set up your divisions. Well, do I need a division? Set up your divisions. Yes. You wouldn't be in the position you're in. But I understand divisions. I know how they work. Then why haven't you set them up? I love when someone says, oh, I know all about it. Then why haven't you done it? Come on. It's just like this. I'm going to say it again. Anybody out there, you don't even have to belong to our organization. I'll make an exception. I'll talk to the team. They already told me I could. You need to make some extra money. We have all the money that you can lend to a house flipper, a rehabber, or their investments, even on a land deal where the person wants to build houses, as long as they have the experience to do it, as long as the dirt is paid for, nothing owed on it, we can go ahead and do the deal and fund that up phase by phase so they get it complete, and we can fund that enough so they can complete it, so they can sell the properties at a profit and still come out ahead. There you go. Facts or myths? Well, I'm going to come up with you. I'm going to tell you about divisions. I'm going to give you a clear example of divisions tonight, that the people that come to the organization that join the clubs and above, they pay $6,500 for this particular class because we really get into it. Now, some paid more, but they're not following it. They won't do it. Now, I told you before, you want to pay us to do it, then fine. I don't care if you paid us $60,000, that's not enough for us to do it for you. We'll tell you the facts, we'll hold you to it. We'll even sit on a Zoom with you and watch you do it. Then we'll say, no, over here, no, over here, no, go left. In other words, just like a driving instructor, we'll be right next to you. But we're not going to do it. You're going to do the driving. Yeah, we might have to put on the brakes a little bit for you to go ahead and stop you. But reason why we want you to do it, because you're going to need to learn to do it. So if something in life comes up, you can say, oh, I know what I need to do. I'm going to go ahead and create a division. I know what to do. Boom, 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 boom. Get it done. That's it. End of story. So here we go. Here's the facts about your divisions. Here's a division. This is like a blueprint. Because if you know how to set up your main division, your main corporation, you're going to know how to set up divisions. So division has $100,000. Your main company has $100,000 times 10 is what? $1 million. So corporation, $100,000. All your divisions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They all have $100,000. But how do you get $100,000? Well, you have $100,000 on the corporation. So if you had 9 more, 9 times $100,000 is what? Anyways, let's go to the next one. Let's take a credit card. I'm just using American Express as an example. But a lot of you do not know how to talk to your business cards. I've even told people, look at, I'll get on Zoom with you and call, and I'll even go ahead and call for you and have you hear me. Do you think they've called me and took me up on that and say, I need a schedule so we can do this? Cool. I'll be glad to do it. And I'm telling you this publicly so no one, so they can never say, I'm telling you now, we got to set up your divisions. Is it too late? It's never too late. It's only too late if you say it's too late. So now this card we're going to use. Here's the next thing. Now, if you can see this, what we do, we call them up and say, hey, Mr. Okay, American Express, I need to get a card for my division. Oh, but they have different names. I need to get a card for my subsidiary. They call it that sometimes. Or, you know what, I need to get a card for my parent child. Or I need to get a card from another entity that's working underneath us. You need to know how to talk to them. Or you need to know what not to say and wait for them to tell you. Especially when they say, we don't do that. What don't you do? We don't do divisions. Oh, then how can I get a card from my other organization? Oh, you need to go ask for this. Oh, okay, great. Do I ask you? Well, yeah, let me connect you to the right person. All right, great. Then the bing, 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 they connect the right person. See, if you don't know, a lot of you say, oh, I know how to do it. And then you do it and you say it doesn't work. Well, yeah, it doesn't work, but I promise you, because you didn't ask the right thing. And I even tell people, great, cool, I'll call back. I will call back if you tell me it didn't work. I don't have a problem because I will find out how it will work, because every corporation card, business card has a way to go ahead and give it one. I just call it divisions across the line. See, a lot of you haven't figured this out yet. A division is what it's called in certain states. But in certain states, it's called something else. Some states, it's called a trade line. It's called a trade line. That's what I say, you've got to do your homework and call. Call and say, hey, I have a question to ask you. You got a business card? You got a card? Hold on. Okay. We have a new card here. So now I can call in the back and you have a phone number back there. Oh, okay. It says a member of the bank is issued by what? And a lot of you don't understand this. You don't really, I've said this to some people and I've told them, and they're always in class saying, well, I already did that. Well, you haven't done jack, because if you did, you would know. I've done this for 40 freaking years. So I know what's going to work and what's not. A lot of you just want to be right because I'm going to just straight out say it. Some of you are mentally lazy. Well, I already know. Then why haven't you done it? Well, because they said I couldn't. They said I need this. Then great. You give them instruction what to do. They don't even do it. I'm not going to give you stuff you're going to lose with. Are you crazy? I want you to win. I'm on your side. Hello? I'm on your side. You get it? I'm on your side. You guys are really crazy. All the people, even YouTube and Facebook, look at all. Have they even showed you any of this? They're going to tell, well, you have the personal guarantee. They're full of malarkey. Or mackerel. Catfish. I don't know. So all I do is, here's the phone number on top. 877-773-8276. Then they have an international number. All right, I call them up. Ring, ring, ring. Hi, how you doing? May I have your name, please? My name is Joe Hofendofer. Okay, great. What's your card number? Oh, I see that your phone number matches this. Oh, your phone number doesn't match. What's your tax ID number? Last four? 1212121212. That's more than four, isn't it? Okay. Anyways, what's the card number? 129, 129, 129, 129, 129, 129, and 129. I know it's more numbers. Okay, great. How may I help you? Great. So you know what? I have a card, but I like to get cards for my several of my organizations. How do I go ahead and do that with you guys? I like to have it just given down so they can go ahead and use it. They might say, well, we don't do that, sir. Great. Okay, so what do you do? How can I, one of my organizations or one of the divisions, or I'm not sure what you call it, how can I go ahead and give one of those cards to my child parent organization? Oh, hold on, let me click to that part. Now, sometimes you're going to get daisy chained around because they don't know. A lot of them back there don't know. Then you finally heard somebody, hey, I need to get a card. Says they said they might even tell you, I'll send you an application. That's bull too. Great. Hold on. I'm gonna hold. In fact, if they're gonna tell me to send me an application, guess what I tell them? I'm gonna hold on, send it to me. Once it gets to my email, I'll let you know. Then I can go ahead and fill out and get it back to you. I don't get off the phone. You guys, I'm telling you, in fact, I challenge any of you out there that's even in corporate land, call me up, whether you belong to me or not, call me up, and I'll be glad to do it for you for free. But it's going to cost you. I want a written testimony that how it worked and it went through, and it worked. It will work. I get off on this. It's like fun for me because I already know it works. If you haven't done it enough, you're going to be kind of like, well, they said no. You're going to put your head between your tails. Why? Remember what I said in the beginning. The wolf on the hill is not as hungry as the wolf climbing the hill. Some of you are the wolf on the hill. The wolf climbing the hill is the one that you call to get the extra card for your company, and they're climbing it, and they're not going to give it to you because they're hungrier than you. So now, guess what? Then you get this, and guess what you're going to have when you get done? You'll have each division with $100,000, and now your corporation would, if it can't get credit because the cash credit is too high, which means the usage is above 35%. You say you're at 80%, it doesn't matter because now you have your divisions to use to help you supplement. Or better yet, couldn't your division get a credit line and pay off the corporation card? Now let the division carry the weight? Man, you guys aren't even, those of you who are the advanced class, I'm talking to some of you because you've been sitting on this. This is a gold mine. I told you, reach out to me and you got to build a division. And if you don't know how, that was your fault for not following directions. Doesn't mean you still can't come back and follow the directions. I'm just telling you it's your fault because you didn't follow the directions. It's like this, especially, I gotta pay the props. I'm going to tell you, guys, man, you get a big fat F. I'm going to tell you, the women are the only ones in any of those classes that actually followed the directions right to the T. Those are the ones that aren't complaining. The ones that are complaining is the ones that didn't follow the directions and didn't set up their divisions. So now they're caught in a conundrum, but it's still not too late. All I'm going to tell you is this. When you build your divisions, you build your freedom. So if your company gets too heavy on one side in corporate credit, your divisions can bail them out. So with that said, because as men, you know what we do? We get the instructions and we go, okay, I don't need them. And all of a sudden, let me go to the instructions and you read them after 2 hours worth of hassle. That's what we do. So I give my props to the women. Thank you for following through. Men, come on, man. Why would I go ahead and tell you, go to A, go to B, go to C? And if you know what? If you can't do it, say, I can't do it, then guess what? We'll get enough people in the room so I can do it, one so you can see how it's done. So with that said, let's move on. So that's what I mean. You can actually have your business credit because of the fact that you get the corporation and you get each one of those cards in the division. And I'm calling it a division, but every state has a different name for them. And if you go, well, I asked for division, they had no idea what I was talking about. Of course not. Who can tell me the 5 states in the U.S. that go by trademark name, not division? A trademark is a division in their language. You mentioned divisions, you're going to look at like, you're tweaking their head like, what? What are you talking about? What? Yeah. What 5 states are they? Name them. This is why I say we help you connect the dots so you're not swinging out there in the wind. Because we know what a corporation is. Here, Corporate Credit Blueprints, we know that connecting the dots, that corporation is a legal person, and that's so powerful about the division. Because guess what? If all of you were my brothers and sisters in the blood or adopted, so there's quite a few 7.5 billion people there on YouTube and Facebook, but who knows? I could call my card company and get you all a credit card. Hey, I'd like to get my brother over here a credit card. I'd like to get my sister over here a credit card. I'd like to get my other brother, my other sister, my 7.5 billion brother now as a credit card. That's what they do. They understand that. But when you get into the business section of it, there's different names. Divisions, adult child, trade. There's divisions. There's even subsidiary. They even call divisions subsidiaries. And I mean, oh, subsidiary means a subsidiary corporation. Well, I have a test question for all of you. A DBA of you is a DBA of you, and a DBA of a corporation is a DBA of what? I'm going to say it again. A DBA of you is the DBA of you. A DBA of a corporation, DBA of a corporation is a DBA of who? Think about it. And let me go back to this other one. A DBA of you is the DBA of you, but a DBA of a business name that you get to be you under a tax ID is now a DBA of the business name you have of the tax ID. I want to think about that for a minute. Anyways, so a DBA of you is a DBA of you. A DBA of corporation is the DBA of a corporation. Hello? This is what's so powerful about when you begin to understand really the strategies. A lot of y'all want to say is that if you really, really get and want to understand this, see, this is what we teach you. Yeah, those of you that have the $350,000, some of you say you have $1.5 million. Have you created your other lines without personal guarantee? If you're personal guaranteed up here, that's cool. Don't worry about it. We can get the divisions without the personal guarantees. And eventually we'll make you a good CFO. A good CFO will always maintain certain things. A good CFO will always maintain something. Because I'm going to tell you, the reason I keep saying, when it comes time to co-sign, the only time I tell you is to co-sign for $5 million or more. You've noticed I've said that a lot. I say that a lot. Why do you think I'm saying that? Because eventually they may ask you a question when you have this all set up properly this way. Can a corporation, now a DBA of a corporation is a what? Corporation. A DBA of a corporation is a corporation because it's registered by the corporation and it's set up by the corporation. And when you call and get the tax ID from the corporation gets the tax ID for the division or whatever name they call it in whatever state you're in. So a DBA of a corporation is a DBA of a corporation. Can the DBAs co-sign for the corporation? Can DBA or DBAs or trademark, trade name, whatever, parent child, subsidiary, can they sign for a corporation? Co-sign. Yes. So the corporation applied for $5 million and each of those corporations co-signed for them and they got approved. But they say they still would like to have a CFO sign. Then you can stand up to the plate and sign because you're a good CFO's credit, which means your personal credit's stellar. That's when it's worth signing for the $5 million. Anyways, just a strategy, but I'm not going to say too much else about it because a lot of people don't even talk about this on YouTube. A lot of people don't talk about this on Facebook because a lot of guys, like I said, I've been around for 40 wonderful years. I've been through the ups, I've been through the downs, I've been out, I've been, like I said, and I understand the teacher, why some of you are working really, diligently out there. You're working diligently out there to go ahead and maintain things. And my hat is off to you. I have a lot of respect for those people that are doing that because I did it, but no one ever gave me my props. And the most important props was from God and my wife because the kids were young, they didn't know. Those are the two best props. But I'm giving you props to let you know I recognize. And whether or not I know you or not, have ever spoken to you or not, take this as your prop. You're working hard to get stuff done. You're working hard to make sure you maintain your business. Brilliant. Eventually, things will pop for you if you just give it its time. 30 days, 60 days, 90 days is enough time. 90 days. And certain things will be enough time. Some of theirs might be a little longer, depending on how if you don't have the business set up, if your corporation is too heavy on the credit side, but has good credit, then you have to wait till that gets lower. But then whatever else you have going on the side, on the outside, you do a side gig besides your working, it'll be able to come down. And once it comes down, then you're going to get everything you've been looking for. But guess what? It's going to take some time. So you're going to have that patience. Because now a lot of people actually I'm telling you, a lot of people that get like 1.5 million, they're already top heavy. They're already top heavy because they banked on certain things about doing certain things, and it didn't quite happen yet. So you got to remember, being top heavy in the business is cool. It doesn't really go against you, but they might not give you the credit. But that's why the divisions help you pull it out, because the corporation could sign for the division because it has a good credit score and everything else. Does not mean they're going to get the credit. It just means that it's backing up the division. But I also have something else to tell you. I'm going to leave you with the question. And the question is this. Whatever business co-signs for a corporation, for a business card like Staples, Office Depot, or a American Express, MasterCard, Visa, Diners Club, how long are they accountable for that? Just food for thought. Go look it up. See how long it lasts. Does it last for the life of the company, or does it disappear after a while? I wonder. Well, with that said, I want to say thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for being here tonight. I really appreciate your time. And just remember, I really do acknowledge the ones that are really busting their butt from every day. They get up at 7 and they get done at 7, 8 o'clock at night. I really acknowledge you, because of the fact it takes something. And I get, sometimes everyone gets frustrated. I did too when I was walking in that morning at 4:30, 4:30, depending what time I had to leave certain times. But at 4:30 in the morning, I was mad, kicking the ground, and why do I have? And you know what? And eventually, like I said, it paid off. It paid off. So I just want to let you know I acknowledge all of you, and those of you who get up early to go to work, to be at work at 7. My hat's off to you. And those of you who work more than 10 hours a day because it provides money for you to get things we're doing, again, hats off. Don't you think it goes unrecognized to me? I will always remember that. This is the reason why I will never quit on you. I will never leave you unless I die on this planet. If I died, then I'm sorry. That's it. But other than that, I'm going nowhere, because this is what I want to see you be successful. And then you can do it. Your test will be the testimony. Absolutely. So I just want to say good night. Love all of you. God bless each and every one of you. And most of all, we're looking forward to see you on the other side. Good night, YouTube.